Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on local community centers that work to help make a difference in the lives of young people living in our community. The Milwaukee LGBT Community Center has a welcoming environment that provides health and wellness programs, arts, entertainment, and provides a place of acceptance and support. My next guest is Dr. Amber Tucker. She's the manager of youth programs at the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. How are you, Amber?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And if you would, tell us more about the LGBT Community Center and some of the things you offer to the community.
Okay. Well, it is just that. It's a community center. And so the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center has been a part of the Milwaukee community, I believe, for about 2 decades. And so one of the things that I'm fairly new to my position, but the work that I've seen and helped with and what I'm responsible for in the center is really just number one, first and foremost, is provide a safe space for folks who identify across the LGBT plus spectrum, and also for allies and supporters. 2, we also offer social services. So we have mental health counselors on site, both a part of the youth program and then for our older adults population. We have support groups for older adults, and then our youth program also has that component of group work attached to that. And then also just any kind of social services. So we have a food pantry. So we have some folks who need to access the food pantry. We take food or get donations for food, and then we store them. And so when people come in and they need, to eat, we can give them, rations for a meal for that day.
Yeah.
We also have a clothing closet, a clothing bank, and so we take donations for clothes, and we have individuals who need to access our clothing bank. We do have homeless population, so maybe we might get into that when we start talking about some of the issues and challenges facing folks in the LGBT community. But so for homeless populations that need to access some of our services, the food pantry and definitely the clothing closet that we have is utilized.
So you guys really are like a one-stop shop for individuals who are utilizing the community center, which is awesome. But all young people go through peaks and valleys as they go through, matriculate through life. And I think there's always a lot of pressures, but specifically for the LGBT youth, sometimes there's some added pressures that come from our society in general. So you would agree with that. What would you say some of those added pressures are?
The added pressure, so just trying to live your truth, just trying to be who you are. We have in our youth program, so we have youth who identify across the spectrum, but the majority of our population right now are trans-identified youth. And so, for example, just coming out in school, or saying to your parents that now I identify as a different gender, and here is my new name, and here are the pronouns that I'd like you to start using. And just not being able to get people to understand that not using my appropriate pronouns now that am transitioning across genders can be almost a sort of violence attached to that, and traumatizing in that type of way, but a lack of understanding for people, and just different thing like not knowing the difference between sexual orientation, so who someone is sexually attracted to, versus how they present themselves in terms of gender, conflating that and not having that kind of understanding. And so the challenges is the issue is having to deal with all those challenges in every institution of their life. And so, for the youth that we serve that are school age, so going to school and having to deal with that at school, or any kind of bullying or harassment that they may get from youth or even adults within the schooling context. And then some of the youth face the same challenges at home. The last couple of contact that I had with parents, or I had a group of parents, they didn't know each other, but they were divorced. And so one of the parents, the child came out, and one of the parents was okay with it and the other parent wasn't. And so navigating home life and school life, and then just social life in general. It's a lot. And so they deal with very complex issues and challenges related to just trying to be who they are, in ways that are similar to adults, if not the same.
And some adults wouldn't even, know how to maneuver through all of those, like I said, ups and downs of life. you mentioned parents. So if you have parents out there who are dealing with kids who are, maybe they've come out and maybe they suspect that their child may fit into this particular group, can they come to the center and also seek some advice, counseling, or resources as well?
So one of the things that we notice in our youth program is that we do get a lot of asks from parents who just call and say, my child just came out. She just identified as a lesbian. I don't know what to do. And so we're certainly here for that. All of our staff, so we have staff who specifically work with issues and challenges that are related to trans folks. And then, but all of our staff at the center would be able to help with some educational and informational things that if someone who was just calling and just needed to talk to someone and just needed some basic information, you can call the center or stop by the center and talk to any one of our staff. They would be absolutely great at that. The other thing is that for us in the youth program, so we specifically work with youth, and so we're grant funded and we operate off of donations, but our program is really focused on the youth, but we know that there's a need for parents because we get so many requests from parents to say, like, do you have training for parents? What should I say? So like I said, we're the front line, so we'll certainly answer questions, but right now we don't have a specific program or training for parents, but we do training just in general for the community. Like we just did a safe space, safe zone training, and we actually market that towards parents. What we are in the process of starting a support group for parents first and foremost.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because that sometimes it's a lot for them to digest as well. So then you have, parents dealing with one thing, kids dealing with something else, and there goes the harmony in the house, I guess, and then the parents themselves go through a process. So, like I was just talking to a parent yesterday, and I said, while your child is coming out, this is their journey, but everyone is impacted by it, right? And not in bad ways, but there's some type of transition that the entire family context goes through, especially if you want to be supportive. And so some parents need that emotional support in that to be able to be strong enough for their child. And what I hear most often is that the parent who is the one that's providing that emotional support and who they don't know what to do or what to say, most of the challenges that they face or the fears that they have is that, okay, what is my child going to face out in society? What is society? How are they going to harm my child? Right.
And so what they really want to know is some information to help protect their children.
Makes a lot of sense.
From the world, which is what every parent wants to do anyway. But the additional layer is that they know that there's some stuff that my child is going to face based on their identity.
So you have this program, Project Q, that's for young people 13 to 24.
Yes.
So you really go through a long list of things that every young person deals with. Drug and alcohol-free environment. You focus on building self-esteem, preparing youth for various stages of life, and then you've got workforce, job skills development, and then most importantly, you also focus on safe sex and healthy relationships, which is a huge deal, especially when you're talking about young people who this is the LGBT many times is dealing with sexuality. Right. So just from a developmental perspective, just understanding healthy relationships in terms of protecting themselves sexually, but also consent, understanding what consent is in a relationship. So that's just something that could benefit any youth. But we do know that because of the way that society is structured, that youth are who identify on the LGBT spectrum may not have access to those resources in their community or their home, or feel comfortable talking to adults about their sexuality or engaging in romantic relationships, just because there is still that intolerance in society for non-heterosexual folks. And so just to be able to be in a space and have a safe space where we can provide the same information that we would give to heterosexual youth, but just to do it within a context that understands identity, understands the challenges that they face, and do it in a way where there's no judgment, there's no criticism, and just coming from wanting the youth to be able to understand power in terms of relationships, engaging in relationships, and again just protecting themselves. So it's when you really think about it, it and break it down, there is a tremendous amount of pressure when you are a young person, even adults, when they get these messages through the media and politics and things of this nature, which is always questioning whether or not they're going to be able to be their true self, you know. And then also there's the chronic stress that's associated with what you were just saying, having this stigmatized scenario over your head, and then often having to live a hidden identity. So kids aren't equipped to deal with all those things, and many adults aren't either. So really it just shines a light on how important the programs and services that you offer really are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so wanted to quickly just talk about some of the things that are important, and collaboration is huge, because what you don't provide, you work with other local organizations that are equipped to deal with that particular situation. We just had a guest here on Our Issues talking about HIV and the numbers for the men, young black men are leading the numbers. Young black men who have sex with other men are at the top of the list. So it's important to make sure they're educated on HIV testing, counseling, all those things. So you guys don't necessarily do it there at the center, but you work with someone who does.
Yes, we partner with Diverse and Resilient and other, AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin. So we partner with various organizations because we are a solo community organization, and most the community centers are always working beyond their capacity. And so the only way that we're able to serve the community in the capacity that we have is that we have these wonderful relationships and partnerships with other community organizations. And so if there's an organization that does something, specializes or focuses on something, and they do it so well, you know, we don't reinvent the wheel.
It takes a village. That's what it's all about.
It does, absolutely. And so, and that's one of the greatest things that we do, is that because we've been around for so long and we have these super great relationships with organizations in the city of Milwaukee, that we provide great referrals. And so whatever we're not able to do, we certainly know another organization or agency that can provide that type of support or need there. And so people can still come to us even if we don't do the testing, but that we can make sure that you get access to those services.
Absolutely. And that's important for everyone. I will emphasize that. There's another thing, homelessness. You mentioned that early on. And as we wrap up, you work specifically with one of the organizations here in the city in making sure young people are not on the streets and, you know, finding themselves in situations like human trafficking, using drugs and alcohol. And you can talk a little bit about that as we wrap up.
You know, one of the issues statistically that came out is, you know, the prevalence of homelessness amongst youth, but the prevalence of homelessness amongst LGBT youth, specifically LGBT youth of color, is an issue that is almost invisible when we look at the statistics. So we look at the, you know, as youth as a homeless population and the challenges that they face there. But then when we start looking at LGBT folks, and so like, what are some of the barriers that they face in addition to what other youth face in terms of homelessness? So, you know, just Pathfinders is one of those organizations where they work with homeless youth, but it's really interesting because we get cross-populated by a lot of Black, queer, and trans youth who visit our center, and they also are accessing the homeless shelter, the shelter services or the homeless youth services that Pathfinders has. So the demographic of their population is predominantly African American youth, and so when we start thinking about that, and so they have very high numbers. And so when you start thinking about that, what are the intersections between race and LGBT identity that impacts youth? And so when I was talking about the invisibility of it, it really brings attention to, you know, how just identity, sexual orientation, and gender expression can create these experiences in life that exclude you from some of the basic, you know, human rights that we have, you know, and needs that we have in terms of, you know, food, shelter, and clothing. clothing.
Wow.
You know, not as just individual circumstance, but just because how society excludes certain members because of who they love, who they're attracted to, not attracted to, or how they present themselves in terms of gender.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate you so much. Dr. Amber Tucker, she's the manager of youth programs at the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. For more information on anything that we've discussed, you can visit their website at mkelgbt.org or call 414-271-2656. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.